Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lê Hoài Ngọc Thủy. Today, I would like to present to you about ontology-based healthcare name entity recognition from digital messages using a recurrent neural network approach. My presentation is divided into five sections: introduction, theoretical foundation, implementation methods, result indication, and conclusions. To begin with the section 1, introduction. Firstly, I will talk about reason for choosing the topic and topic introduction. Twitter is the most comprehensive social media site collecting and providing public health information. 500 million tweets are sent each day, 5,000 seconds every second. Health-related mining and information extractions are active challenges for the development of useful public health applications for researchers. One essential part of developing such an information extraction system is the NER process, which defines the boundaries between common words in terminology in a particular test and assign the terminology to specific category based on domain knowledge. The Internet had revolutionized efficient health relay communication and epidemic intelligence in the modern world of social media dominance. Uh, Microblog like Twitter are probably the best source of up-to-date information. Then, the purpose of the research report in this paper was to predict how relay-named entities should see symptoms and pharmacologic substance from non-registered messages that are essential for discovering public health information and developing real-time prediction system with respect to disease outbreak prediction and drug interaction. So, to achieve this goal, the paper employ a deep learning approach, obtaining the pre-trained work embedding which can be used successfully for any test mining task, then collect a large number of user data and then clean and pre-process them to produce an experimental dataset. They automatically annotate the dataset using UMLS metas, met, metadata with treaties of entities, diseases, symptoms, and pharmacologic substance. The database deep learning architecture follows the window approach in the method they put forward has a number of desirable advantages. Then in the section 2, we have to find out about theoretical foundation. In the first part, research framework, this paper presents an HNER test using healthcare domain ontology. Figure 1 shows the overflow of HNER tests. For the input of the HNER test, they create a healthcare register corpus which was collected from register uh, which the third term healthcare between uh, 12 July 2018 and 12 July 2019. Firstly, they use the basic pre-processing testing such as test learning and test filtering. Then they use tokenization for the world level sequence. Secondly, they produce work level, and character level feature. For work level feature, they use pre-chain work, embedding and POS tagging vendors, and the CNN was used to produce character level feature. ACA, additionally, forgetting knowledge of healthcare domain ontology, they use UMLS tagging to break a label for a sequence of inputs. Finally, they integrate all the feature in the combination of the feature for experiment. They split the experimental dataset into training and testing set. LSTM COF and BILSTM COF model were trained on the training set and evaluated on the testing set. In the score of S of the XNE or task, the trained model could recognize medical entities from register data. Now, I would like to look at the related work. First, information abstraction is the process of abstracting useful information such as the relationship between entities from unstructured or raw data. The process of abstracting structure from non-safe source like microblocks like register is indeed channeling. Over the last few years, a number of deep learning architectures have been proposed in the biomedical and chemical and ER field. Mainly, the approach covers the CNN, the recurrent neural networks, RNN, and the combination of two architectures, CNN, RNN. Recently, LSTM, a particular case of RNN model, has been successfully developed in the NLP and biomedical test mining task. LSTM with COF model have active the improved research in the biomedical name entity recognition task. Very recently, an adaptive neural network called BILSTM has recently been employed in studies of biomedical NER, yielding state-of-the-art performance at the time of this publication. Moreover, the attention-based BILSTM-CF model is proposed as well to capture similar entity attention at the document level. One of the well-known deep learning related methods is work embedding. Work embedding is a function smart work to high-dimensional vector. Work embedding has to understand how different words are related based on the context. Since any depth architecture is based on work embedding, the use of work embedding in unsupervised on a large collection of tests has become a key secret sauce for the success of many NLP systems using deep learning researches. This paper reveals re-leveraged a large number of twists and apply the PILSTM-COF model to NHNER tasks by taking advantage of deep learning on large training observations. The paper presented datasets that is larger than micron, employing various ERNN techniques and providing comprehensive research. So now we come to the next section 3, which is implementation methods. They have often a dataset content 100 content 1403393 health related. For the HNER test, the research only considered the three types of entity such as diseases, symptoms, and pharmacologic substance to map the particular entity they target for the annotation. Table 1 shows the detail of each entity type. As you all know, we need to go through the dataset processing step. In the pre-processing step, we remove all U- URL tag stars, non-English character, and punctuation. Then they convert all character to lowercase. Finally, they only select the streets containing at least 5 words. Finally, they fill streets with the medical team and unit medical team for the experiment. The trees in the experimental dataset contain at least one health-related entity. The health-related entity in each entity and frequency are shown in Table 2. After all pre-processing and filtering, they split the experimental dataset into training, testing, and validation subnet. Table 3 shows the distribution of this and the corresponding number of twists, number of term, uh, number of term, and unitum of for each entity type. For dataset annotation, this use quick UMLS tool to extract biomedical concepts from medical tests. They utilize this version of UMLS and set the parameter as shown in Table 4. The overview of BILSTM model is shown in Figure 2. BILSTM model consists of 4 layers, include the embedding BILSTM, CRF, and Vitabi Vitabi layer. Vitabi layer. The embedding layer consists of the sub pre-presentation short arc work embedding finger feature yellow, character features red, and additional work feature green. The medical and non-medical pre-trained work embedding are used and compared for production work embedding. BISDM learn the contextual information from the concatenate work and character representation and generate the work level contextual representation that indicate the confidence score CS for each work. The CRF layer calculates tagging score for each work input based on the contextual information. Finally, the vertebrae algorithm is used to find the tag sequence that maximize the tagging score. In the first phase of the prediction model named as embedding, they use both biomedical and biomedical prediction work embedding and analyze the effect of work embedding for the HNEO task. Character level work embedding is useful, especially the rate word and our vocabulary word are exploited and work embedding is poorly trained. It's common in the biomedical and chemical domain. Work level approach falls short when applied to texture data when many infrequent and misspelled words occur, which in very short documents. They also use POS tagging as an additional work feature in this paper. POS tags are useful for building brace trees, which are used in building NER and attacking relation between words. Table 5 shows an example of how POS features are applied. Work embedding is mainly learned through context, and the learned work better and capture general syntactic and semantic information. The statistics of work embedding are displayed in Table 6 and Table 7. The character sets include number upper and lowercase English alphabet, from special character and the special token padding and unknown, as shown in Table A. The architecture of character level feature texting using CNN is shown in Figure 3. The advantage of character-based approach in the language and domain independence, since they don't require any language and domain-specific phrasing with character embedding. Every single word vector can be formed, even if it out of the vocabulary. On the other hand, word embedding can only handle single. After concatenating the different feature representation, the paper employed PILSTM layer to learn sequential structure of word inches in comparison with a single direction LSTM. A PILSTM can use the information from both sides to learn the input feature. This leads me to my next point. What's EBILSTM? Recurrent neural network, RNN, or a family of neural network. RNN have a high dimensional hidden state with non-linear dynamic that encourage them to take advantage of previous information. LSTM networks are the same as REM, except that the hidden layer is updated or replaced by purpose-built memory cell. As a result, they may be better at finding and exploiting long-range dependency in the data. Figure 4 illustrates a single LSTM memory cell. After learning the input feature, the famous CRF layer is employed. Adding a CRF layer into PLSTM model equips the model with the ability to learn the best sequence of tasks that maximize the probability of the output task sequence. PILSTM CRF is very successful for the NER task. They produce the state-of-the-art result on several NER benchmark datasets without using any feature. Next, the research end is network architecture with the back propagation algorithm to affect the parameter for each training example using the work of Adam with natural momentum. In each board approach, they divide all the training data into batches, then process one batch at a time. The batch size decide a number of sentences in each batch. In each batch, the faculty gets the output score from the BILSTM for all labor. Then they put the output score into CRF layer and they can get the gradient of output and the state transition matrix. From this, they can backpropagate the error from output to input, which contains the backward propagation for p directional state of LSTM. Finally, they update all the parameters they apply brought out on the way vector directly to match final embedding layer before the combinational embedding fit into the bi-directional LSTM. The research hyperparameter are shown in Table 9. For evaluating the model, an exact matching reiteration was used to estimate three different results false negative Fn and false positive Fb, or incorrect negative and positive prediction, respectively. True positive TP results correspond to correct positive prediction, which are actual correct predictions. The evaluation is based on the performance measure, precision P, recall R, and F score F. Recall denotes the percentage of correctly labeled positive result over a positive case, and E calculate action on the grid. From the previous section, I will continue to present section 4, Research and Discussion. This paper employed the PI-LSTM-COF model with the different combination of work feature, work embedding, character embedding, and POS tagging for the device dataset. The PI-LSTM-COF model is compared with LSTM-COF model for the most similar tasks. The comparative performance evaluation result is shown in Table 10. Experimental research on the presented dataset show that PILSTM-COF work, work share, POS, good year, excellent performance for the HNER task. For this experiment, we use a PSLO wiki plus PM plus BMC work embedding that achieve higher result than other present work embedding. We can see that work embedding is most effective feature for HNER tasks compared with character embedding and POS tagging. The model with different combination of features improves result. The best results are shown with BILSTMCOF work plus share work POS using the combination of all feature types. Also, our experimental research proved that POS tagging is efficient in various NER tasks. Generally, the BILSTM-COF model outperformed the LSTM-COF model in all experiments. They rank the work embedding by performance as follows. 1 is Wiki plus VM plus VMC active, the highest result in 6 online experiment. Number 2, second chance VM plus Mimic 3 active, the highest result in 2 online experiment. And third, Visual PM plus BMC active, the highest result in one online experiment. Though three work embedding are even more powerful than the rest of the embedding together in the disease or syndrome, sign or symptoms, and pharmacologic substance and ER with BILSTMCRF, work blood share work POF model. We also examine the impact of vitamin embedding in disease or syndrome, sign or symptom, and pharmacologic substance HNER by comparing the performance of BILSTMCOF work JPOS model with that of an invariant of each shown in Table 12. The comparative result of two work embedding with the model on the present dataset demonstrate that fattening embedding has a certain effect on the performance of BILSTM-COF work share POS model. So that's all I want to say. I would like to end by expressing the main point. This paper discusses advanced neural network methods non-PILSTM-COF that are able to active the health relay and ER tasks with work embedding, character embedding, and small feature and niche with POS tagging. The ontology or nucleic base is information for learning about the medical domain. Their goal is to predict and recognize medical terms interests that support her public health system. They notice the collect datasets by using UMLS metadata ontology to obtain knowledge about the specific domain. They consider three entities: disease or syndrome, sign or symptoms, and pharmacologic substance. In the score of HNEL staff, they present a dataset collected from user to products. The experimental datasets they use the pre-processing test square on the graph that test data switch, shocks, test learning, normalization, filtering, and remove non-medical terms and tokenization. They employ the PILSTM-COF model and compare with LSTM-COF model with different combination of features such as word embedding, character embedding, and POS tagging. They found that the PILSTM-COF word share POS model achieves the best result compared with all the models on the XNGL test when using this wiki plus PM plus PMC pre-chain work embedding. They also prove that vitamining E efficiency when working on downstream SLP tasks such as XSSATA. CNN-based character embedding and POS tagging is the best model for prediction of disease or syndrome sign or symptom and pharmacology substance named entity. Well, that is for me. Sincerely, thank you so much for taking time out to listen to my presentation. Best wish for you. Thank you.